Claudia Marquez has had an entertaining 18 months as COO of Genesis Motor North America. When she was appointed, her boss, Jose Munoz, said Claudia is a strong leader that has implemented effective strategies for growing brands. She's clearly doing that now. Genesis is the talk of the industry, and she has a tiger by the tail. Last year, Genesis was up 14% and marked its first time above 50,000 units. And just yesterday, you may have read that Genesis set a monthly US sales record with volume up 23% again, its fifth straight monthly gain, and its best ever Q1. So to discuss all things Genesis in this executive chat with me, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Claudia Marquez.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to everyone.
18 months. Well, first of all, before we get into that, you had quite a show last night.
We did. Did you see
Bright orange Gv80 Concept car?
Amazing. It's really fantastic. You probably saw it, of course, in many media, but if you were in front of the vehicle, it's, really take your breath away. It was great. Amazing. So very happy for that.
Yeah, what a solid indicator of what's to come with this brand, right? This is the direction that you're going now.
Definitely it is. Genesis is about design, and you really could experience that yesterday. So we're very happy, very proud this morning.
Wonderful. And it was a Genesis house, too.
It was a Genesis house, which of course is also very important to us. Is the way you can experience and show all the values of the brand. So. Of course, I get to be very often there, as you can probably imagine, and I still impress and amaze every time I jump into it and can see, every kind of experience that you can have. So if you have not been there, please do.
There's an open invitation for all of us to go after we're done here to Genesis House to grab a drink, right?
Definitely it
is.
Or two.
Or two.
Yes.
18 months in the role. What has surprised you the most about joining Genesis? And I know your previous history, you were at BMW for a long time, you were at Nissan.
Yeah, I have been in this amazing industry for almost 28 years. Out of those, 20 in the luxury space. So I couldn't be more happy and proud. This is, as everyone knows, an exciting industry to be. But talking about Genesis, I started indeed exactly 18 months ago. And the first thing that impressed me, which is of course great for us, is the amazing products. The designs are bold, are daring, is progressive technology. It's, in all of these years that I have been doing what I do, is really very often when people are stopping you and just, it's like, show me your car. And that I have experienced not only in the US, but in many parts of the world. So that was great. And the second one is that just by having the opportunity of visiting so many dealers across the US. The excitement for the brand, they are really backing importantly, very supportive, very excited. So that's what, of course, when I realized this is my new challenge, it's great to have that start, that fundamentals.
What a fresh sheet of paper, if you will, when you start with a brand that has only upside and only opportunity. There's opportunities and there are challenges, but what do you think the brand's keys have been to success?
So, I probably can say three things. First of all, people. Of course, when you are in our office and I get to see this very hard-working team when it comes to designers, engineers, when it comes to headquarters, actually building the team. I had the opportunity of building our Genesis in the US team. That makes completely the difference. Everyone is running. Of course, we are a new brand. We have been in the market now 6 years, and you can realize how excited is everyone to feel a part of what we are. That without doubt. Products, I just talked about that, is basics, is very important. But probably the other one also being a new brand, challenger brand, being Korean, our culture. So I have learned a lot in these 3.5 years because I started working for Hyundai my first 2 years. Value, being just humble, as we call it, Sonim, which is being really treating everyone as very important guests. All of these help us in presenting our brand even stronger than actually the products which are great.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. Son Nim means honored guest, right?
That's right.
That's everybody who interacts with the brand. This is your your brand ethos. Everybody's an honored guest.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we treat everyone with respect and the way you wanted to be treated. So it's very warm, very close, very respectful.
Let's talk about some of the achievements. I know that you're taking enormous steps towards electrification commitments, but what are the achievements? What's the road ahead look like for Genesis?
So the vision for Genesis is very clear. We have confirmed that every vehicle that is going to be launched as of 2025 is going to be electric. As of 2030, we are going to only be an electric company. And we're working very hard in optimizing every process to be carbon neutral by 2035. So that's the vision, and we are actually doing very well on that. I have to be that I'm very proud that 2022 in that regard was amazing. We launched our first dedicated model Gv60, electric dedicated platform Gv60 in June. Some months after that, September, we introduced the electrified Gv80. And then we were in LA in November revealing the electrified Gv70. So 3 models in a year is not bad.
Yeah. You also enormous investments, U.S. investments by the Hyundai Motor Group. More than $10 billion?
Yes. So also in that regard, it's very important to confirm. I mean, we have said this, and it was actually announced in May last year. It's a $10 billion investment. We will have an electric manufacturing plant there, and in barrier plants as well. So that's, of course, very, very nice, and it's already in motion. And on the other hand, also very proud is that for the first time ever, Genesis produced 1 vehicle outside Korea, and that was, of course, here in the US. The electrified Gv70, we started production in February, I mean, just some weeks ago, and we are starting sales as we speak. So fully into electrification.
It probably can't move fast enough, I'm sure.
I mean, let me tell you as well that the plan is that by 2030 we will introduce 8 models electric vehicles. So yeah, actually we couldn't be more proud of the commitment, investment, and dedication of our company.
That kind of growth really will require a whole reshaping of the team, right? I imagine you're going to add more players and grow with the brand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of both. Of course, talking about the importance of purchase experience and ownership. Something that we're doing as well and working very close with our retailers is in investment in standalone dealerships, right? And I shouldn't be using the word dealerships because it's more a facility where you can have an amazing experience, immersive in everything what the brand Genesis means. And with that, I mean, we just opened the first 5 new standalone facilities, and we are about 100 additional ones that are in different phases of constructions, but we cannot wait. I mean, this is very important, of course, for electrification in the future, to have future-proof electric places to be for our customers, but of course still with our ICE models as well. So it's more the experience then. You know,
you were in Santa Monica last week with Mike Sullivan.
I was.
LA car guy, opening a new facility, right?
I was, and I was, before that I was in February at some point in time in Coconut Creek, and before that I was in Indiana, in Appleton. So yeah, we're in the roadshow at the moment, jumping and opening these new facilities that, of course, are going to take care of our customers.
Let's talk a little bit about the Genesis facility program. What are the aspects of that?
So, I mean, we have 2 very clear, right? I was telling about this modern, agile, immersive, full of strong processes where we can feel and receive our guests, really enhancing the values of Genesis. And the other one, as we were talking about, the importance of being sure that each of our facilities are EV future proof, which is what we're doing right now. And always, always taking care of the ownership, and again, this so name, that is what identifies us as a brand.
And I want to emphasize one thing that you said. You really want to provide this bespoke experience. You want to tailor each one of these, well, really every customer to an environment that's befitting of the brand, right? Can you share that a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we have this amazing, great brand that is offering these amazing products, and what we are now seeking through these standalone dealerships is really to treat every customer the way they want to be treated. So culture, values, zoning, experience. It's like you are just in our house, like Genesis house, for example, that you just arrive and you feel all of this calmness of being almost at home.
You want a fully immersive, you want a tactile experience and a lot of different client touch points.
That's correct.
The idea.
That's the idea.
Tell me a little bit more about marketing and sales. What are you focused on there? I know you have a long history on that side of the business. What are you doing with Genesis there?
I do. It's something that I really like a lot. Of course, again, coming back to Genesis being only 6 years in the market, one of the things we are focusing probably the most is about the awareness of the brand. Because, of course, we still have a lot of eyeballs to catch, and we are very clear about that. So on one hand, you have the importance of digital and social, which we are doing as well, but we're still in that phase where we need to grow awareness, opinion, familiarity to our brand. And with that said, for example, we just launched our latest advertising campaign, which is called Keep Beginnings. And it's great because we're talking about the new launch. We're featuring the new launch of electrified Gv80. And talking about keep beginnings is all of what you want to do every time, right? This feeling, his emotions, butterflies, as we call as well, when you are starting a new project and you have this sense and spirit and challenge of doing something new. And of course, what better than electrified Gv80 when we're talking about keep beginnings, electrification beginnings, the first vehicle assembled in the US, keep beginnings, the very important investment of the company. So we wanted to do this, and aside of that, on top, we're featuring visionaries in all of this space that are always thinking about the future and always challenging the future in regards of emotion. So it's going great. It was, we launched it in the middle of March. And again, we're trying to catch as many eyeballs as possible, because once you do that, we know exactly how customers and people in general just amaze about the brand.
Yeah, you launched it during the NCAA tournament, the NCAA
we
basketball
did,
tournament.
We did, of course. That was also part of the strategy, just to be in such a moment where we know most of Americans are putting their eyes in non-Americans.
Right. We're going to have a marketing panel here after the break, but just given your own history, how important or how challenging is it now to continue that thread of that message across all platforms, knowing that you have digital to satisfy, broadcast, as you just said?
Oh, of course, it's a challenge because there is so much outside, right? And of course, when we're talking about digital, on one hand is our new way of living, on the other is so fast. So now you have to align, of course, broadcast with digital and with social. But for us, of course, is very, very nice, is very important. We are in a different stage in terms of brand positioning. And we're therefore at Genesis putting a little bit more weight still in Tier 1 broadcasting, because that's where you get the strongest and fastest coverage, of course, which is important. And yes, we will see our 3 ladies in the marketing panel. I would love to do that. I like them all 3 a lot.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. As it relates to the brand marketing itself, you've done some different things. I mean, we mentioned having Genesis House. Does it give you an opportunity to really step outside of the normal avenue of marketing and break the mold and do some I mean, given the short history of the brand, you're not dealing with 100 years of legacy here.
Completely, yes. And actually, for me, again, having done this for so many years, it provides me such a nice opportunity. Because again, talking about 6 years, we don't have that much heritage as many other brands, which on one hand can be a handicap. On the other hand, the reality is that we can allow ourselves so many things differently because we just can. We can learn about what others have done and we can probably adopt, but we also can just present ourselves the way we want to. Why? Because we're new, because we can, because we're Korean, because we're different, because we're in this timing of building ourselves. So I tend to say that this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We just need to be very clear, very focused on the strategy, very consistent, and continue and have fun. And the brand and the designs is allowing us to be there.
The panel before us talked a lot about the economy, so let's just chat about that for a moment. We've obviously seen the Fed raise interest rates in the hopes of controlling inflation. We've seen incredibly low unemployment. There's a lot going on in this marketplace. Where's the luxury auto market today for you?
Booming. I mean, it's
booming.
Oh my God! I mean, it just posted a 17% growth to previous year in Q1, which is amazing, of course. I mean, if you think about all the challenges that we have experienced in the last 3 years for different reasons, and today we're talking about adding a new one, of course we need to be fast, we need to be strategic, and we need to be really very targeted in what we want to do. But we do expect Genesis to continue growing. On one hand, I was sharing with you that just by opening facilities as we are in these amazing places, of course, it's going to support ourselves. On the other hand, we're going to be benefit of a complete year of the models we launched last year. Because I mean, I was talking about the 3 EVs, but we also launched the second generation of our flagship G90 that has been also doing great for us. And we are introducing new models. And probably last but not least is we are indeed having more supply. And this is supporting us to post the 23% growth that you were mentioned in the month of March, and for Genesis, the best ever quarter, which is of course very good. Just if you think about seasonality, right? For example, a Q4 to a Q1. So we are very proud and very humbled. I mean, working very diligent.
What do luxury buyers want these days? I mean, you came from a background where your time at BMW, you spent a lot of time in Munich. You told me that you went there once a month. You really understood what that buyer wanted. What does the buyer today want?
So, I mean, of course, amazing products with technology, very good and strong performance, very bold designs, which is what we are offering at Genesis. But now we're talking about ownership and purchase experience. And now you have to relate also to the brand. You have to have an emotional connection, right? So this is a new part that probably, I mean, new, not today's new, but some years, where you have to develop that connection as well. It's not only about amazing, great products. This is just what you have to be to have a chance to be in the market. Now we're talking about experiences.
So speaking of connected, your Genesis Connected Services, your Genesis Service Valet, describe some of those advantages in the marketplace.
Of course, part of that, we were thinking in what do we have to develop to be close to our customers and to offer these different benefits that are aside of the product itself. So you just mentioned that Genesis Connected Services, Genesis Complementary Maintenance. We have enhanced, importantly, support in terms of valet service. So many particularities that actually our customers want. They get to decide what do they want to do. Do they want to go to the dealerships or not, to the facilities, or do they want for us to come to them? So we align in everything related to expectations of our customers.
Claudia, you've navigated a growth of a brand during unprecedented times, specifically, COVID related. What did you learn during that process, and how are you applying it now?
Well, I have to say that we are very proud of our company, and I'm saying this right now because, of course, this Korean culture that respects so much also didn't go away from our brand values. And with that, first of all, just to give the safety to employees that everyone was going to keep their jobs, what was very important. Talking about the importance of customers through Genesis gifts, if for whatever reason suddenly you couldn't afford your mortgage per month, we help on that as well. Talking about safety, test drives, right? Remote test drive, bringing the vehicles to the customers, and of course our dealers. I mean, now if you think about it, is 3 years after the fact, in probably the first couple of weeks, I can remember March 2020, where you were thinking this is going to go away in the next 2 to 3 weeks, right? So the speed in strategies protecting everyone, suppliers next to us, is when you think, I mean, and you see, it's great. Even investment in developments, in marketing, is let's double down rather than go back. So it has been really a great moment to be here and working for our group.
What hard lessons have you learned personally?
I mean, of course, the struggle of being a new brand, right? Is something that's a fact, and you have to face as well. So we're working very hard on that, and one is probably related, of course, to facilities, ownership experience, which is what I was mentioning so many times, to be close and to just show the excellence of the brand in every form you do. So we are doing that good. I would have loved to do that faster, but of course there are things you just can't. But again, on the other hand, the future is bright. We have been receiving so many positive accolades in so many cases that it just accelerates and puts us more emotions to do things better.
Your current boss had to convince you to come over to go and work with him. Jose Munoz was just named to the company's board of directors. He's the first non-Korean to be part of the Hyundai board. What do you think his placement on the board says about the success your team is having in North America?
I mean, I am proud in so many levels. I have had the pleasure of working with Jose for the past 11 years. And as challenging as he is, and believe me, he is. Believe me, he is.
Tell us about that. Oh, I'm just kidding.
No, I can tell you about that. I mean, I'm impressed every time I'm in a meeting with him, and that happens to be almost every day and many hours in the day. His level of concentration is crazy. I mean, he just doesn't rest. He's involved in everything. He's amazingly smart, amazingly fast, and he pushes for the right reasons the system all the time. So for me, it's great because it's always nice to go to an office and get to learn something every day. So that's great. But the question aside of him being an amazing leader, without a doubt, and a very challenging dealer too, of course, being a part of the board, imagine what it means. So the gentleman has been in the company for 4 years, and he is now part of the board, and of course, as a non-Korean. That speaks a lot for him. That speaks a lot for, of course, the team in the US, but that speaks also a lot for the Korean company we work for, right? It's a very big company, very successful company. It's a company that is present in the world and now is becoming very global. So diversity is key, it's important, and you can see that in everything we do. So it's great to be in the company right now.
You can also see it in the hires that he's made, including you. He has surrounded himself with a lot of diverse talent.
Yes, and I mean, of course, I'm Mexican. What can I tell about diversity? I'm a Mexican and I'm a woman, so I have both of that. But what I can say is that, of course, he does that because he recognizes the value in it. It's not for just saying, I'm doing that. And having a strong team is the best thing you can do.
Sure.
Having a strong, diverse team probably even better.
A couple final things. Should we expect another record-breaking year from a sales standpoint out of Genesis?
But of course, of course, we're going to have an amazing year. We are expecting to grow importantly. Again, talking about awareness of the brand and presence means also units in operation. And every time we get to have the opportunity of showing our vehicles to new customers, is easy to conquest. So every quarter is going to be stronger, and then every year, and this is why I work for Jose Munoz.
What are you most looking forward to?
Just looking into all the results that are coming in this effort. So I was talking about the dealers. I cannot wait to see that many dealers suddenly open and say, this is the standalone brand that we represent. Of course, the models that we are going to launch in the future. And just continue this amazing journey of trying to make a difference and to position this great brand.
Most importantly, after 18 months, are you having fun?
I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, I work a lot, as you can probably imagine. I travel a lot, but it's great. I love every single part of my job. So I just looking forward to continue this.
Wonderful. Thanks for this chat here.
Thank you so much for the
Claudia
invite.
Marquez.
Thank you.
Thank you.